Comic-Con has always been about comics. It's in the title of the darn show, after all. But the best thing about comics is how well they work when adapted to other mediums like movies, TV shows, and even video games. Let's break down all the coolest looking comic book video games coming our way soon. Here to help me out are Akeem Lewanson, Kim Horcher, and Brian Altano. Beyond everybody.
Hello, hey.
Hello there.
How are you?
Hello, I'm doing well.
Good,
Thank
good.
you.
Just checking in.
Let's start with the comic book game that's most immediately on the horizon, SpiderMan 2. We got a new story trailer here at the show. It's arriving for PS5 on October 20th. How are we all feeling about it? Brian and I were talking about this a little bit on the show earlier. So, Kim, did you get a chance to see the latest trailer?
I haven't seen it yet.
Okay, well,
this is new for me.
Well, we get to see a good look and a good hear of Venom in there.
Yes.
Akeem, did you see it?
It was amazing. We got a good look at Miles's new hairstyle as well. Looks like Akeem circa 2019, by the way.
That was the reference.
Is that a positive or a negative?
That's a positive.
It's a positive.
Right.
Obviously,
right?
I've changed my hair since, so it is what it is. But no, there's a lot of cool things that I noticed in this. I mean, we saw just a glimpse of Peter as a waiter. I'm not sure what's going on there. This scene that we're looking at right now, Miles said, "You don't know what you took from me," so it makes me think something might have happened, possibly. Maybe to his mom. I know in the Ultimate Spider-Man comic, his mom is killed by a Venom.
Mm-hmm. Well, they confirmed that he's gonna confront Mr. Negative.
Okay.
About what happened with his past there. So I think that's probably what that's referring to.
Okay. Yeah. And it looks like, I don't know if you saw that, Daemon, but it looked like Miles is going to rescue Peter as if like he were kidnapped by Kraven, because MJ says something about like you have to save Peter. Could be reference to the symbiote suit taking over him, or it could be reference to Kraven kidnapping him.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. I'm all in on this game.
Kim, were you already excited about this before this trailer?
I am getting excited now because this is the first
In
time
real
I'm
time.
seeing it. I am catching stuff. Yeah, I want to explore this version of Peter and Miles because more presently I'm thinking about the Spider-Verse
That
movies.
guy, by the way. The bear guy with the axe?
Craven the Hunter?
That's Kraven.
That was Kraven again?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was in a silly disguise, so people couldn't spot who
Gotcha.
he was.
It's a different fit.
I know.
Yeah.
You know that they say Kraven's supposed to be the catalyst for everything that happens in the game. So, I don't know. I think we kind of have big pieces of the puzzle of what this story is. Kraven comes to New York wanting to hunt superheroes there.
Yep.
Something happens at a laboratory where the symbiote was being, it's going to be like a biological weapon, maybe something like that. It gets out. Peter accepts it. He gets high on that power, but also starts to make him cocky, and he starts pushing his friends away. They have to pull him back out from that darkness. He rejects the symbiote. The symbiote is angry, so it latches onto Harry, who's less powerful than Peter. He can't resist it. He becomes Venom.
Yeah.
They have to fight Venom. I think that's it.
The credits roll.
That's the story of the
trophy.
game.
You did it, Daemon. You beat the game.
Venom said in that trailer, "We will heal the world."
And Harry says that at the beginning. That's how the trailer's bookended.
Yeah.
So it's like.
But I've never looked at Venom as a healer of the world,
Maybe,
though.
but
From a certain perspective,
from a certain
he
point of
is.
view.
I mean, yeah, Magneto thinks he's doing the right thing, right?
Right. Like from a Clintarian perspective, yes.
Okay, fair enough.
I think what's most fascinating to me about this game is what we don't know yet, sort of mechanically. There was the entire concept of like the character switching stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like I haven't actually seen that working in the fly, like in the open world. We've seen some story mission stuff and stuff like that. We've seen them teaming up, but I want to know if it's going to be like kind of GTA style, where you switch over to Miles and he's just like at a comic book shop, and you switch back to Peter and he's like asleep on the roof, like next to a pizza box. Like that kind of stuff could be. I feel like they could have a lot of fun with that. There was a ton of personality in the margins of the first and second game. Them getting on the subway to ride around and stuff like that. I love those little details, those little world building things. This is the third game in a series now for something that's absolutely a known quantity, and we know it works really well. So like I know what the swinging mechanics are going to be like, but like what does the rest of it feel like? Like what's the surprises this time around?
Yeah, I mean, so there's the wingsuit for traversal, and then Spider-Man will have all the Venom powers that you can play with. That should be fun. But
yeah, I hope he can use those to climb and scare the hell out of everybody.
It's going to be pretty scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's out October 20th. That's Sony's big PS5 game for this fall. But Insomniac also has Wolverine, which is a game that was revealed back in 2021, 2 years ago now. We haven't seen anything since this teaser trailer, but
it's
one of the
best teaser trailers.
Short and sweet. Presumably, once they get Spider-Man 2 out the door, they can begin working in this in earnest. Akeem, what do you want out of this Wolverine video game?
I want to see what the gameplay looks like. How about that? That's what I want to see. Honestly, I don't know what I want from this. I just want to play as Wolverine, if anything else. Like,
Do you want it to be open world?
100%. I
You
want
do?
it to be open world. I also want. I want to know how the his healing factor will work. There's a lot of different things I want. I want to know what the gameplay mechanics look like in a Wolverine game.
I feel like the healing factor will work like when you're playing like Call of Duty or something like that, and you get shot a lot, and then as you just back off, you go, and you come back up, and you're good to go.
But the way Wolverine dies is if you cut off his head, correct? Isn't it Highlander rules when it comes to Wolverine?
I've never
just
heard
cut off
this
his head?
before.
Sure, yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna make all the comic book fans upset, and the Highlander fans are excited right now. That's what I want though from this.
Yeah, there's a lot of really excited Highlander fans watching
There
this
still
right
exists. I saw 3 out there. There was actually 1.
Yeah, the one is here at Comic-Con
Yeah.
every year.
Yeah.
I want it to be, it's gonna be rated M. Like lean into what Wolverine really is. Logan proved that Wolverine can be his real violent self and still be successfully both commercially and critically.
Yep.
So and Insomniac has made M-rated games before. They did the whole Resistance series, right?
I mean, if you look at what they do with Ratchet and Clank, right, which the most recent one specifically was like, you get these kind of big playgroundy levels, and then you can like portal hop between them. I don't necessarily need like a massive open world. Like I don't need like Ontario or whatever, right? He's just like running around Canada. Yeah, shout out to Ontario, I guess. But no, I want more like kind of smaller focus levels that are more like a tinier sandboxy and a lot more beat 'em up brawly type combat. Like I don't need to be climbing buildings and stuff like that with Wolverine. He gets a little bit of verticality, but I want him like running down the streets. I want him punching people. I want him getting drunk. Yet there has to be bars that you can go to. Like all of that has to be there.
Teaser trailer was in a bar, so
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Sabretooth has to bother you the entire game, just constantly popping out of garbage cans, punching you in the mouth, all that fun stuff.
Kim, what do you want out of a Wolverine game from Insomniac?
Bone claws.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, yeah.
I want him to be a little weak sometimes, so that it's a challenge for me.
Yeah, it's funny you mention that. I don't know. Part of me doubts that they'll like do any sort of like origin story with this particular game. So I would love to see like some flashbacks when he did just have the bone claws. So that would be awesome. But I don't know. I'm doubting that because like if you look at the first SpiderMan game that we got, like there was like an origin story in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think they're just gonna move on. Like he has the adamantium. He's in Madripoor, drinking whiskey and just beating everyone up in the bar for some reason.
I'm getting X-Men Origins flashbacks or Wolverine Origins, and I think you might be right. So maybe
those
we
good
don't need
flashbacks?
it.
Is that
No,
a-
they're not
Yeah,
good.
Those weren't good movies.
No, but
So-
but one thing Insomniac is really good at, and they've illustrated that with Spider-Man, is that they will pull like literally every costume that he's ever appeared in.
Yeah.
And I'm just now thinking about how exciting that's going to be for Wolverine, because we're going to get 90s animated Wolverine costume, hopefully, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's all I want. Like even seeing that shot of him in the Deadpool movie, I'm like, that's really good, but not exactly there yet. You have to go full stupid cartoon, and I think Insomniac can do that.
Brian, you mentioned Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Would that make for the best main villain in the game? Is there anyone else?
I mean, Magneto obviously is like the end game boss, and like what's fun about what they're doing is that they're not tethered to the MCU. They're telling their own stories. I actually don't know if this would exist separately from their Spider-Man stuff, right? Like, I mean, is there going to be any crossover with that? Like, do you think there'll be a tease in Spider-Man for Wolverine, and they exist in the same world?
That would be cool. if
That
they
would
did.
be really cool. Honestly, it would also be cool if like the X-Men is already established. Wolverine, he knows all the X-Men. It's not like one of those things where it's like, I'm looking for you. You're like we're not. It's just they're already established, and he's like, yo, Xavier, I'm in Madripoor right now. I just killed a bunch of people in a bar. What should I do? I don't know, you dumbass. Can I say ass? I apologize.
Sorry, it's been said. What has been said on IGN Live at Comic-Con cannot be unsaid. Yes. Now, there is also Rocksteady's Suicide Squad, which is infamously supposed to be out months ago, but pushed to February 2nd next year. Man, where to start with this one? Because it's just like, this is a troubled game.
Yes.
Yes.
How do they get people excited for this game?
It's such a weird thing because everything we've talked about so far, we've been like, I just want to see more of this, I want to see more of this, I want to see more of this. And every time I see more of Suicide Squad, the more I'm like, this is not for me. Yeah. This is not a game I'm particularly interested in. And it's a bummer too, because it's like, this is a studio that made some of the best Batman games ever made.
Yes.
And that character has not had his own video game in forever, and instead, like, we got Gotham Knights, which was like everything but the Batman, and Suicide Squad, which is everything but the Batman. And like, I'm like, can we just get this out of the way and get to the part where we're making Batman games again?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because I remember when this was first announced, and I think we talked about it. Well, obviously we talked about it, but it's one of those things where I was super excited about it just because of the prospect and what it could mean. You know, like characters could die, or is it permadeath, and then you move on to the next character, and how does that so all the other actions that take place throughout the game, like, does that change certain things that might take place? There was so much I was thinking about, and then we got what we got, and I was like, I had to like dial back my expectations.
Yeah.
You got the boomerang man with a gun.
Yeah, we got
They're all
Harley
just
Quinn
using
swinging
guns.
like
Yeah.
SpiderMan in the sky.
Like those UI screens that are just like, hey, plus 2% shoulder pad.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like it's fundamentally not really what I'm looking for when I play video games. Like, obviously Insomniac Spider-Man has a bit of that, right? Like, there's mild RPG elements and stuff,
Yep.
but I just don't know who this game is for. I don't know anyone who's particularly excited for it. I feel like they keep kicking it down. Are you excited for it?
I like Wonder Woman in this.
Okay, that's a good start.
But speaking of Wonder Woman, Wonder Woman's getting her own game from Monolith.
I'm more excited about that.
yes.
Developers of the Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor, and Shadow of War. This one was revealed back in 2021. It's slated for 2024. We don't know much more about it. It's basically just this teaser little logo right now.
Yeah.
Kim, what do you want from this game? And were you a fan of the Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor games?
I was a fan of Shadow of Mordor. I really liked the Nemesis system.
Exactly.
I would like to see a lot of that. I'm not exactly sure how to implement that with any particular Wonder Woman villains, per se. So I guess I'm going to say that I want Etta Candy in this.
Do you want the sort of like Shadow of Mordor combat with Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I mean, I think it could work with the lasso involved, for sure.
What about her invisible jet? How
much
does that work? Yeah.
jet do I want?
Yeah. Is she just going to be sitting there? Like
I want to forget where I parked it.
yeah, I like
That would be really easy.
How do you find
She's
the
like,
invisible
beep,
jet in the video?
It's kind of cheap in video game form. It's just a floating body in the sky. It looks like the character just glitched out.
Yeah, you just didn't draw it. Good job.
Yeah.
There's all these other superhero video games in development right now that they just have an announcement and a logo, and that's not much. There's the Captain America and Black Panther game from Skydance. That's from Emmy Hennig from Uncharted. That's a single-player, third-person action game. It takes place in Paris and Wakanda during the height of World War II. Hydra are the bad guys. It's another single-player action-adventure game, except there's 4 characters. There's Cap and Black Panther, and then there's a member of the Howling Commandos, and then Nanali is the leader of the Wakandan spy network.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, like, if it's like an Uncharted style game with these characters, that sounds like it could be really cool. And then EA Motive is also working on an Iron Man game. It's also single player, third person action adventure. It's led by one of the main guys from the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Right.
From Square Enix, so that's a good sign. It's an original narrative, and Motive just did the Dead Space remake.
Yeah, that's right. And that was
So
the
that's
one where people were just like, get the Anthem engine and then put Iron Man in it. And obviously the game development is not that easy, but that seems like a nice start.
Seems like a nice start. And Cliffhanger is a new studio that also just announced their own Black Panther game. So there's a whole lot going on. I think that's what we're looking at right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just a Black Panther solo game. Getting his own game, doesn't have to share the screen with Cap.
Which is, I guess, contemporary or modern or whatever, wherever that would take place and not World War II.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot there, and simultaneously, not a lot yet.
No.
A lot of logos and press releases.
But those are just a few of the very exciting comic book games we'll hopefully be playing soon. But who knows? It's Comic-Con, so maybe we'll find out even more before the weekend is over. But on that note, I have some bad news, everybody. It is time to say goodbye.
That's right. It's true, believers. One day of IGN live at Comic-Con is coming to an end. One
Don't
day.
worry. Yeah,
day one.
No, yeah, day one.
One day.
No, but don't worry. No, you're right, because we actually have some really great news, you guys.
There's a whole other
We're gonna keep this going. We're going to run that back.
Of IGN Live at Comic-Con coming tomorrow.
That's right. Join us on IGN Live at Comic-Con tomorrow to see the creator of Vinland Saga, the developers and stars of Mortal Kombat 1, and the director of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, plus the creators of Star Wars Outlaws.
Before we go, we just want to give a huge thank you to everyone watching and reading IGN's Comic-Con coverage all weekend long.
Before that, deliberate, awkward pause. We want to give a very special thank you to our massive production crew working behind the scenes to make this happen. Thank you so much.
Thank you all so much. And we'll see you all tomorrow for another day of IGN Live at Comic-Con. Good night.
Good night.